Lieutenant Commander Maya Reeves stood at attention before Colonel Eileen Collins, her weathered face betraying nothing as she received her unusual orders. The office at Naval Special Warfare Command was secure. Voices kept low despite the privacy. "This isn't standard procedure, Commander, but we're out of options," Colonel Collins said, sliding a folder across her desk. 3 incidents in 6 months. The latest recruit was hospitalized. Maya flipped through the file, scanning reports of escalating hazing at the elite training facility. "And you want me to go in undercover as a cadet?" "Ma'am, with respect, I'm 34. You can pass for 25, and your reputation precedes you. First female to complete BUDS, 3 combat tours in classified locations, more confirmed operations than anyone in your class." Collins leaned forward. "Something's wrong with how we're training the next generation. I need someone who knows what real SEAL should be." 2 weeks later, Maya arrived at the training compound with a duffel bag and fabricated transfer papers. Her hair was regulation short, dog tags reading Recruit Reeves hung around her neck, and her distinguished service record was buried under classified protocols. Only Colonel Collins and Lieutenant Commander Washington knew her true identity. The compound buzzed with activity as young recruits ran drills across the muddy field. Maya noted their form, their discipline, the way instructors barked orders. On the surface, everything appeared standard, but her trained eye caught subtle problems: favoritism, unnecessary aggression, a culture of intimidation rather than excellence. "You the new transfer?" A broad-shouldered instructor approached, eyeing her with immediate suspicion. "Yes, sir. Reporting is ordered." Maya kept her voice appropriately differential, hiding the authority she typically commanded. "Female recruit in my unit. Must be someone's idea of a joke." He snatched her papers, scanning them with obvious disdain. "Reeves, you're in Barrack C. Try not to cry yourself to sleep." Maya spotted the name on his uniform, Senior Chief Petty Officer Jackson. His file had featured prominently in Collins' briefing. Decorated service record, but concerning reports about his training methods. Barrack C was exactly what she expected. 20 bunks filled with young men who fell silent as she entered. Their expressions ranged from surprise to amusement to outright hostility. "Law, sweetheart?" one cadet smirked, receiving encouraging chuckles. Maya dropped her bag on the empty bunk assigned to this unit as of today. The tallest recruit approached, standing too close. "This isn't summer camp. We're training to be warriors, not babysitters." "Then I suggest you focus on your training instead of me," Maya replied evenly. That night, she overheard whispers as the unit planned something for the new arrival. The word trap feature prominently, along with mentions of the abandoned training complex and tomorrow's night exercise. Maya lay still, finding sleep while mentally preparing. She brought minimal equipment, standard issue sidearm, combat knife, and basic survival gear. Her instincts warned that something beyond simple hazing was happening here. The aggression felt too coordinated, too personal. As dawn broke, Maya joined the morning physical training, deliberately performing at 70% capacity. Exceptional but not suspicious, she observed the unit's dynamics, identifying the informal leaders and potential allies. The training schedule posted showed night operations in Sector 4, perfect isolation for whatever they had planned. What these cadets didn't realize was that they weren't setting a trap for a naive recruit. They were unwittingly challenging one of the most lethal special operators in the Navy's history. And Maya Reeves had never failed a mission. The night exercise began at 2100 hours with the unit divided into 4-person fire teams navigating the training grounds with night vision gear. Maya was deliberately placed with 3 of the most hostile cadets, Rodriguez, Miller, and Tanner, under the guise of integrating the new recruit. Their team leader, Rodriguez, handed her outdated equipment with a smirk. "Try to keep up, Reeves. Wouldn't want you getting lost out there." Maya checked her sidearm, noting they'd issued her training rounds while the others carried standard blanks. The difference was subtle but significant. Training rounds hurt more. She said nothing, merely nodded and took position at the rear as ordered. An hour into the exercise, Rodriguez suddenly signaled a detour from their assigned route. They veered toward the abandoned bunker complex, a Cold War relic used for urban combat training, now officially off limits due to structural concerns. Shortcut, Miller explained with a grin that didn't reach his eyes. Unless you're scared. Maya recognized the setup but followed. Her mission wasn't just to expose hazing, it was to understand how deep the problem went. The bunkers loomed ahead, concrete shadows against the night sky. As they entered the first structure, her instincts flared. The air felt wrong, too still with faint traces of unfamiliar scent. Not just cadets waiting to ambush her. Rodriguez's radio crackled. Package delivered. He whispered to someone on the other end. The trap sprung with practiced precision. 6 more cadets emerged from hiding places surrounding Maya in the narrow corridor. Their leader, Jackson's son from another training unit, stepped forward. "Welcome to your real initiation, Reeves. Women don't belong in special operations. Tonight you learn why Maya assessed her options. 9 opponents, confined space, limited visibility. She could easily neutralize them, but that wasn't her mission. She needed to understand if this was routine hazing or something more sinister. This seems excessive for a welcome party," she said calmly. Jackson Jr. laughed. "Dad says the brass is forcing diversity quotas on us. We're just maintaining standards." The first punch came from behind, a rookie mistake. Ma shifted slightly, letting it graze her shoulder instead of connecting with her kidney. She stumbled forward, playing the part of the overwhelmed recruit while cataloging each cadet's position. Then the unexpected happened. A muffled shot echoed from outside. Not the distinctive pop of training rounds, but the suppressed thump of live ammunition. The cadets froze, confusion replacing their bravado. This wasn't part of their plan. "What was that?" Miller whispered. Another shot closer, then the unmistakable sound of the perimeter alarm, faint but clear. The training ground was being breached. Maya's training kicked in instantly. "Everyone down," she ordered, her voice suddenly carrying the unmistakable command presence of a senior officer. Rodriguez scoffed. "You don't give orders." The window above them shattered as a smoke grenade bounced into the room. Not Navy issue, hostile incursion. Maya snapped, dropping the recruit act. 3 o'clock, moving tactically, at least 4 operations. The cadet stared in confusion as she drew her sidearm with practice efficiency. When the first mass figure appeared in the doorway, Maya was already moving. She disarmed him with a precision strike, using his momentum to slam him into the wall. "Who the hell are you?" Jackson Jr. gasped as Maya checked the intruder's weapon. "Foreign manufacturer loaded with lethal rounds. Right now, I'm the only thing standing between you and a body bag." Rodriguez tossed a captured weapon. "Formation Delta, cover the exits. This isn't a drill anymore." The night had suddenly transformed from a petty hazing to a fight for survival. And the cadets who'd planned to terrorize her now looked to her with dawning recognition that they were drastically outmatched, not by the intruders, but by the woman they tried to trap. Maya moved with lethal precision through the darkened bunker complex. The cadets following her lead with newfound respect and fear. She'd quickly organized them into a defensive formation using hand signals they recognized from training, but executed with a fluidity that spoke of years of combat experience. 3 hostiles down, at least 2 more in the vicinity, she whispered, checking the ammunition in her captured weapon. "Rodriguez, Miller, secure our 6. Tanner, Jackson on me." The young men nodded, their earlier arrogance replaced by the sobering reality of genuine danger. Maya had neutralized 3 armed intruders in less than 2 minutes, moving with a speed and efficiency none of them had witnessed outside of demonstration videos featuring legendary operators. "Who are these guys?" Jackson Jr. asked, his voice barely audible. "Foreign special operations, judging by their equipment and tactics," Maya replied, examining a patch she'd torn from one attacker's uniform. "This isn't random. They knew about tonight's exercise." A realization dawned on her. The hazing culture hadn't just endangered recruits. It had created a security vulnerability that someone had exploited. The trap set for her had inadvertently provided cover for an infiltration team targeting Naval Special Operations training protocols. As they navigated toward the exit, gunfire erupted from the eastern perimeter. The base was under coordinated attack. Change of plans. We're taking the maintenance tunnel to the armory. If the base is compromised, we need to secure tactical assets. For 40 minutes, they moved through the compound like ghosts, encountering and neutralizing 2 more hostiles. The cadets watched in awe as Maya demonstrated the real-world application of techniques they'd only practiced in controlled environments. When Miller took a grazing wound to his shoulder, she field-dressed it with practiced efficiency while simultaneously planning their next move. "You've done this before," Rodriguez stated, no longer a question. Maya met his eyes briefly, more times than I care to remember. They reached the command center to find it secured by Lieutenant Commander Washington and a response team. As they entered, Washington snapped to attention. "Commander Reeves, Colonel Collins is inbound with QRF situation report." The cadets' jaws dropped collectively as Washington's words registered. "Commander Reeves, 5 hostiles neutralized, 2 captured," MA reported, seamlessly transitioning from hunted recruit to commanding officer. "Preliminary assessment suggests they were targeting training protocols. I want full perimeter sweep and communication blackout." Colonel Eileen Collins arrived 30 minutes later with reinforcements. The situation largely contained thanks to Mia's quick action. In the debriefing room, the cadets sat in stunned silence as Collins addressed them. "Gentlemen, allow me to properly introduce Lieutenant Commander Maya Reeves, Navy SEAL, Silver Star recipient, and the officer I assigned to evaluate our training standards." Following concerning reports, Maya stood before them in her proper uniform now, rank insignia gleaming under the lights. What began as an investigation into hazing revealed a more significant security breach. "Your actions tonight will be reviewed thoroughly." Jackson Jr. stared at the floor. I know exactly what you were planning. And in doing so, you demonstrated precisely why our training culture needs reform. Special operations isn't about intimidation or exclusion. It's about excellence under pressure and trusting the operator beside you regardless of gender, race, or background. 6 weeks later, the training facility operated under new protocols. Senior Chief Jackson had been reassigned, and the cadets who had once planned to terrorize Maya now trained under her direct supervision in a specialized counterintelligence unit formed after the breach. On their first official training exercise, Maya watched as Rodriguez expertly led his team through a complex scenario, including 2 female recruits who had joined after the program reforms. "Permission to speak freely, Commander?" Rodriguez asked during evaluation. Maya nodded. "I owe you an apology and my life." He hesitated. "Why did you protect us that night after what we planned?" Maya considered the question because that's what real warriors do. We fight for everyone, even those who don't believe we belong. She handed him his evaluation, especially